Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. And today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at should you stay or should you leave this situation. So whatever situation you're thinking about, you can pick your pile accordingly. So I'll have the reading breakdown right here, and there's also going to be an extended for this reading, and the link for that is going to be in the description box. I'm going to add the crystals and I'll be right back. And here I've added the crystals. For pile 1 we have opalite, for pile 2 we have a peach moonstone, and for pile 3 we have a rose quartz. Pick whichever pile number or crystal is calling you most, and that is going to be your reading. Timestamps are going to be in the description box below, along with any of the decks that I use in this reading. That's also always in the description box. And I also wanted to mention that right before I started this reading I saw 333, so you may be seeing a lot of angel numbers or a lot of numbers like that, but yeah, I wanted to mention that. So now let's get into these readings. Hello pile 1, you've chosen the opalite heart. I'm going to keep your crystal right here. And before we get into your cards and your reading, I got this message from Spirit that each situation is different. So even if this situation isn't going how a previous one similar to it went or how somebody else experienced it, that's okay. And again, I know, you may already know this, but I feel like Spirit wanted to remind you or just wanted to highlight that every situation is different and every person is different. So it's okay if this situation doesn't look the same, and that doesn't mean there's anything wrong. That just means, again, it's different. So Spirit, what is the outcome of pile 1 staying in this situation? Can we get one card on the outcome of pile 1 staying in this situation? Thank you. And then let's see what's at the bottom. 3 of Wands. Let's get one card for the outcome of pile 1 staying in this situation. Wow. Interesting. Well, I don't know if I want all 3 of these, so let's redo that. But seems like there's a heavy energy on staying, but what that is exactly we'll get into. So can we get one card on the outcome of pile 1 staying in this situation, Spirit? Just one card. I felt like that focus card though was, let's see if it can't. Interesting. Emotion. All right, can we get one card for the outcome of leaving this situation for pile 1? What is the outcome of them leaving this situation? Thank you. Queen of Pentacles, Judgment. And can we get one card for the outcome of them leaving this situation, please? That's interesting. All right, so let's get into this. I'm noticing that right off the bat, you have a major arcana on each side. So this is kind of telling me that either decision you make is going to be a pretty big decision. It's gonna be in a way like monumental. Let's start with if you choose to stay, what is the outcome? We have death here and continuance. And one of the things that this is giving me is that even if you choose to stay in this situation, something is going to have to change. There's not really a way for you to stay in this situation with it staying the way it is currently. In order for you to stay in this situation, something is going to have to change. Something is going to have to be put to rest. There has to be like a rebirth or some type of renewal in order for this to continue, because how it's going right now, it literally just cannot stay the way it is right now. In order for you to be able to sustain yourself, or like in order for the situation to be sustainable, it can't keep going the way it is right now. There has to be some type of change and some type of shift. And the outcome, so if you choose to stay in this situation, the outcome is that shift and that change. Like that is definitely going to happen if you choose to stay. And in the extended, we're going to see what this will require of you. So if you want to check that out, that'll be linked below, and they're super affordable. So yeah. But either way, I feel like this is very straightforward. Like in order for this situation, like the outcome here is a big change. It's like a radical rebirth, and there's an end happening. So even if you choose to stay in this situation, something is going to end, something is going to be put to rest. I keep wanting to say that in order for this situation to continue, in order for that continuation to happen. It is fascinating that we're asking about the outcome of you staying and we have continuance. I also feel like there's a choice here too. Like the outcome of you staying in this situation is a choice of like, are you really happy with the way this situation is going right now? Or does that change? Like, what can you do to bring a change if you're not happy with how it's going, but you don't want to leave the situation either? So I feel like that is also coming through, of like asking yourself, like, what would need to change in order for this situation to feel good continuing in. I'm also hearing this message that something is going to have to double in order for you to stay in this situation. So either you're going to have to put in, like, this might not apply for every single one of you, so only take this if it applies to your situation, but you might have to put in double the work, or somebody else is going to have to meet you halfway in that. Or this could just mean that the something that is a factor in this situation is going to have to double. So like an example that's coming up, just to like kind of like illustrate this, is that your finances might have to double in order for this situation to keep be sustainable, you know, something along those lines. Like, just apply it to whatever you're asking about, of course. Yeah, Spirit just wants to like say that in order for the outcome of you staying is some type of change in this situation, or it's going to require some type of change in you as well in order to stay. So now let's see what the outcome of leaving this situation is. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here with Judgment and Desire. One thing that I'm feeling with this is, regardless, it almost seems like the outcome is going to give a rebirth. Like, there's a renewal. In this case, it seems like this renewal is more like, the word that came up is messy, but I almost want to say that is not necessarily like messy in the sense of like hurtful, but more so messy in the sense that is gonna be a little bit challenging. On this side, the outcome of leaving, it seems like the renewal and the rebirth or the change is a little cleaner. Like, I'm using those terms very loosely, you know, but it seems a little easier. I don't know. It just seems a little lighter, a little less heavy, cleaner just keeps coming up. It also seems like leaving this situation seems more desirable, or maybe is what you're leaning more towards. But again, there's this unsurety of whether or not that's the right decision. And I'm hearing like there's no real right or wrong decision, but leaving this situation is definitely going to feel a lot lighter and a lot more refreshing. And I think it's going to restore your energy, and it's going to restore the faith in yourself is what I'm hearing. It's going to restore some type of faith in your ability to make decisions. But I also feel like leaving this situation, the outcome here is that you are improving. It seems like the worth and value you place on yourself is improving. It's heightening. Like, we have the Queen of Pentacles here, and the Queen of Pentacles stands in her worth and in her value, and isn't really concerned whether or not other people see that worth or value, isn't really concerned with showing it to other people. So the feeling I'm getting here is that by leaving this situation, you're going to restore that faith and value in yourself, like the belief in yourself. It's like you're going to see your own value, and your discernment is going to increase. It seems like your ability to discern what situation is right for you and what situation is wrong. And I mean that in the sense of like what situation is in alignment with your values and what situation isn't. That discernment is going to be heightened by leaving this situation. Obviously, I don't want to lean one way or the other, but I almost feel like spirit, like there's a very light energy here. There seems a lot more lightness, a lot more liveliness, whereas staying seems a lot heavier. And this energy was also a little bit resistant. Like staying in this energy there was a feeling of resistance, like it was harder to tap into. Whereas with this leaving, it seems like there's more lightness. It's easier to tap into. It's easier to navigate. And it feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels better. And because we have the 9 of Cups here at the bottom, I'm getting the sense that leaving this situation is also in a way kind of leading you to your wish fulfillment. So it's leading to your desires. I feel like you leaving this situation, the outcome here is that you're actually walking towards your desires because you're starting to understand what those desires are, and you're putting greater value and worth in yourself to know and have discernment in what decisions to make. Like you're starting to trust yourself, and it's building your self-worth. It's building your trust in yourself. I also feel like it's building your trust that your community has your back and will support you no matter what. So again, there's another moon here, and it's interesting because in this we have like the triple moon, and over here we just have the single crescent moon. So in this situation, the outcome of leaving, I feel like, is you coming to have more faith in yourself and more independence. the outcome of staying here is you relying a little bit more on others and those around you for validation, for support, for strength to move through this situation. So yeah, it seems like there's more parties involved, I think, if you stay versus if you leave. There seems like if you leave, it's just you. Not to say that you're going to be alone, but it's like you're coming back to you. Whereas in this situation, it seems like the focus is on others. Again, but even leaving this situation, there's still greater support. Like you still have the support of others, but you're not relying on that support. You're coming to be more independent, and you're truly coming to rely on yourself and build yourself up. And either way, I'm getting this feeling that you're being strengthened through whether you decide to stay or leave. But in this way, you're being strengthened in a little bit more challenging way. Whereas in this way, you're being strengthened a little more lighter. It's a little more, I don't want to say easier, but it feels lighter. It feels more flowing, and it feels more aligned. Yeah, we also have Cancer here, so, and Capricorn on this side. So Capricorn can be associated with devil energy. So with that, I'm getting the sense that like this staying could feel a little more trap, if that's the right way to put it. Like it may feel a little, you may feel a little more chained down, and it might require more effort. Whereas on this side, it'll feel a lot more freeing, a lot easier. Yeah. And you might feel like you can finally open up and finally like break through. Like it seems like if you leave this situation, there's a breakthrough that this, like leaving this situation is leading to a breakthrough. All right, let's see what message and advice Spirit has for you. Thank you. That was pretty quick. Adventures. One card for what advice or message do you have, Spirit, for pile 1 in regards to the situation? Thank you. We have Carnelian. One of the things that I'm getting with this Adventures card is to look at this as an adventure. And even if both brought you to the same outcome, which it kind of has that feeling that it's still going to bring you to some type of change, what journey would you want to take? What path would you want to take to get to that outcome? Is kind of the question. This path seems much more heavy. This path seems much more lighter. So Spirit is calling you to ask yourself, which adventure would you want to choose? Neither one, again, is right or wrong. It's more of like, what do you want to experience? What experience do you want to have? Which adventure do you want to have? Do you want to go through this side or this side? Like that's kind of the main thing that's coming through here, is that either way there's going to be a change. Either way there seems like there's going to be a breakthrough or a rebirth happening here. Though I will say that leaving this situation, it seems like this breakthrough is really up-leveling you in some way. It's helping you to find more security and like faith in yourself. I don't necessarily see that on the side of staying. That's not to say that that can't occur, you know. Obviously everybody's situation is going to be different of what you're asking for, so just apply it to your situation. But your advice here and what Spirit wants to tell you is like, think of this as an adventure and look at the adventure that you want to have in order to help you make the decision that's best aligned for you. rather than focusing so much on the outcome, because it seems like the outcome is gonna like be similar in a way, but it's more of how you get to that outcome, how you get to that journey, or how the journey to getting to that outcome. And that, I think, is what Spirit wants you to focus on, is more so what adventure do you want to have, what type of journey do you want to have. Try not to focus on whether or not the outcome is going to be right, but rather whether or not that's the journey that you want to experience, that's the adventure that you want to experience. Is that the path that you want to experience to get to that outcome? I just have to read from this adventures card because this is just so perfect. Symbolically, water usually relates to emotions. Moving water is moving and fluid emotions. It represents letting go and release. Water also represents spirituality, and moving water can represent spiritual rejuvenation, regeneration, and renewal. Water falling from a great height, such as a lofty waterfall, intensifies every meaning of water. The power of the moving water doesn't allow life to be stagnant. It activates new experiences and adventure. Something exciting is around the corner. You are entering a new frontier filled with expansive energy. Begin to look at your world in new and different ways. Something that you thought was mundane, or someone whom you may have overlooked, will open the door to new opportunities and a bigger and bolder way of living. Be willing to see the world around you in new ways. Don't be lulled into complacency. This card appears when you're ready to remove your blinders and take action so life doesn't become stagnant and lackluster. It also can signify incredible spiritual attunement and spiritual voyages. So, I mean, again, like, I'm not here to tell you which way to go. That's obviously your choice and you have free will. But it kind of is feeling like Spirit is leaning much more towards this side of things. And maybe that's not to say that you need to leave this situation entirely, but rather there's aspects of this that need to go through this death and renewal process, and so maybe you just need to leave for the time being, or you need to leave in order for those transformations to happen. Again, and everybody's situation is going to be so different. So I also feel with carnelian here that because it's red, I'm getting the sense that maybe working with your root chakra could help ground you so that you can make a better decision for yourself, one that is more rooted and grounded, so you're not feeling like too much in your head. Because I do notice that the Queen, we have a pentacle here, like the only element we have in terms of like the tarot is the pentacles here. So that kind of tells me that to make like a better decision, you may need to ground yourself, and through that grounding and rooting process, I think it'll give you more clarity on what choice to make. Although again, like, I feel like Spirit is much more leaning towards this way. Let's see. I love that this card happens to be next to this side, so I'm just gonna read it. Increased confidence, dignity, poise, self-assurance, which is basically everything that the Queen of Pentacles represents. Rising above the fray is much easier when you feel confident in your strengths and know that the conscious universe is lightening the path for you. There's no shame in feeling unsure as you leave behind the unfamiliar. But Carnelian Spirit is here to help you grow your confidence so that you can experience dignity and poise even when it is clear that you are imperfect and not completely certain of what step to take next. You have come so far and grown so much. Give yourself credit and know that you make the best decisions for the good of all when you feel self-assured, because you are connected to the conscious universe. You are co-creator. At all times, you are awake and alert, heeding the signs that guide you on the healing path, so hold your head high. Carnelian is a stone of confidence, courage, and action. Fantastic for those who are prone to procrastination or have difficulty gathering the courage to take the first step. Carnelian lights a fire in your belly and other less comfortable places, pulls you up by the bootstraps and says, let's go for it. Yeah, it seems like you guys might even be leaning a little bit more towards this path. Yeah, pile one, that's where, actually, you know what? Wait a minute. I wanted to take from this deck to close this reading out. So, Spirit, what last advice or message do you have for pile 1 in terms of this situation? What do they need to know? Can we get... Okay, well, clearly this wants to come out. Always remain true to your intentions. Forget me not. And one more, please. Thank you. We also have show appreciation and joy shall follow. So maybe working on gratitude, like maybe writing a gratitude list or keeping a gratitude journal. We have Orchid, your uniqueness is always perfectly lovely, and Phrygia, this will all be worthwhile. So these are your messages to close this reading off. If you're not joining me in the extended, this is where I'm going to leave it. Thank you, pile 1, so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. Thank you, Spirit, for coming through and helping me channel this reading. I really hope that this gave you the clarity you needed or helped you in whatever way, shape, or form. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, if you haven't already. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye. Hello, pile 2. You've chosen the Peach Moonstone. I'm going to keep your crystal right here. Let's get into your reading. So, pile 2. Let's see what the outcome of you staying in this situation is. What is the outcome for pile 2, whatever situation they're asking about, Spirit, of them staying? Can we get one card to see the outcome of them staying in this situation? I just want to say right off the bat, your energy seems so much lighter. So whatever situation you're asking about, I feel like the energy surrounding it is so much more lighter. And if that's not the case, then this, I'm not going to say that this isn't your pile, but maybe, well, let's just see. But anyways, for pile 1, what, Spirit, can you give us one card? And what the outcome is if they choose to stay in this situation. For many of you, I feel like your mind is already made up, so. Thank you. 2 of Swords. And we have the 10 of Wands being reversed. So if you choose to stay, we have the 10 of Wands being reversed. Okay, let's see what one card for the outcome of you staying. What is the outcome of pile 2 staying in this situation? Ooh. Wow, okay. Okay, since this decided to like literally land right on the fire, I've never had that happen. That's kind of crazy. But I don't even know what to make of that. Maybe if you choose to stay in this situation, some things are gonna get burnt, but they're for your good, I'm hearing. So, yeah. Let's see what is the outcome of you leaving this situation. What is the outcome of you leaving this situation? Pile 2, Spirit, what is the outcome of pile 2 leaving this situation? Thank you. I'm curious what this is. The Hermit. I don't know why, but I felt like taking it. Then we have the Ace of Wands at the bottom. And we have the Devil. Let's see. What is the outcome of pile 2 leaving this situation? What is the outcome of pile 2 leaving this situation? Get one card, Spirit, for what is the outcome of pile 2 leaving this situation. I just got a whole lot of messages. Wow. This came up for pile 1 and they're extended. Alright, so if you choose to stay in this situation, it seems like things are going to get lighter for you. It seems like there will be an end to a cycle, though I feel like the outcome here with the Ten of Wands being reversed is that the end of the cycle, I'm hearing like you've already put in a lot of like work to move through challenges when it comes to this situation. So continuing to do whatever it is you're doing, continuing to work in this situation or continuing to be in this situation is going to lead to that end of a struggle, an end of this burden, an end of hardships. And I also feel like the outcome is like it's bringing you a lightness of energy. I like this falling literally on top of the flame. It seems like something rapid is happening. There is this lightness. If you want to stay in this situation, the outcome is a light-hearted energy that's leading to victory. You're gonna feel much better. I already just tapping into this energy felt very light. Like there was a lightness in my heart specifically in that area. So I feel like things will be easier if you choose to stay in this situation. Things are getting easier. It's going to lead to a victory. You've already kind of put in a lot of effort and energy. This was very spiritual, or like on an energetic level, you were putting in a lot of effort. And yeah, like you were building up this thing. You've been working at it, whatever, you've been building it up, and you've already put in a lot of energetic work towards this situation. And so now continuing to stay in it is just going to lead to victory. You're going to feel good about it. Things are going to move quickly. We have Aries here, so this gives me that feeling again of fast movement. Like it's going to require fast movement, but also the outcome is fast movement. There's something happening rapidly for you. It might even feel like there's a flame ignited in you. There's like this fire. We do have the Ace of Wands for if you're like, that came at the bottom after I shuffled outcome of you leaving. But either way, I feel like there's this fire and this spark here. And fire could be very important in staying in this situation. Maybe the outcome is a rejuvenation of your inner flame, a feeling rejuvenated, a feeling of victory. Like I passed through all of these challenges, I went through all of this, and I finally got to this point of victory. It gives me the feeling of like somebody working really, really hard towards like a project or something, and you finally present that project and you just feel relieved, you feel unburdened, you feel like you've put in the work and you got your like first place prize, and like it was all worth it in the end. That's the feeling that it's giving me if you choose to stay. I would say that if your situation feels more heavy and less lighthearted, whatever situation you're asking about, then maybe the pile 1 might be more applicable. But 44, wow, I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but right when I started your pile, I saw 44, and the fact that we have 44 here, I feel like Spirit is more leaning you towards staying in this situation. Whatever this situation is, it almost feels like Spirit is asking you to see it through because there's victory in the end. But of course you have free will, you can choose what you want. You know, if it becomes too heavy and you feel like it's not right, then you move on, right? But there's also some type of separation energy here that's coming through. So maybe you felt separate from this situation, or maybe like if this is a person, maybe you guys aren't together at the moment, or there's this feeling of like being separated from something that you really want to be one with. So however that applies to your situation, maybe it's going to apply in so many different ways, but you're finally getting that oneness that you've been craving from this situation. If you choose to stick it through, if you choose to stay the current course, if you choose to stay on your current path, yes, it might be a little bit challenging, but the outcome is that oneness that you're hoping for. It's the victory that you're hoping for. Now let's move on to if you choose to leave. We have the Devil here and we have the Hermit with agreement. The outcome I'm seeing here of you leaving this situation is you having to put in, like, start another cycle, put in more work somewhere else. The outcome of this is you entering a new contract of some sort, of you facing the things that are weighing you down and soul searching. I feel like the outcome here is like, if you choose to leave this behind, you're going to enter a new cycle of soul searching, of inner, like, going within. It seems pretty big. If you choose to leave this situation, it kind of seems like you might be a little bit lost and you're going to have to regain your footing. The outcome of this seems to be like you moving away from something that you have committed yourself to. So if you leave this behind, the outcome here is that you're leaving behind a commitment of some sort. And this seems like a past life commitment or a soul contract for some of you. That doesn't have to be the case, you know. For other, like, relationship stuff is coming up very heavily in this pile, but this could also just be, this doesn't have to be deal with relationships. That just is one of the things that's coming up here. And specifically for those of you who resonate with having a soul contract, or like a soulmate, or like something along those lines, or like a situation where, again, like I was saying, you might be separated from this person at the moment, but you deeply desire oneness with that person. And if you choose to stay that path, the path that you're currently on, you will get that oneness. But if you choose to leave, then I feel like you're going to be stepping out of that agreement and you won't get the oneness that you want. And again, this doesn't have to be with relationships, although that is what's kind of coming through here, but this could be with like if you've been wanting to manifest something, or if you've been working really hard towards manifesting something, you're literally about to get what you're working towards. You're literally on that precipice. You're about to get it. If you choose to walk away now, you're going to walk away from getting that thing. The outcome here is that you're going to walk away from it, and you're going to have to find a new direction. You most likely won't get that thing. Like, you're going to step away from this contract, is what I'm hearing here. So it seems like Spirit is kind of leaning. It's funny, like your reading is very opposite to pile one. Pile one's was, the energy felt a lot heavier, but I also feel like Spirit was leaning pile one to this side, whereas for you, I feel like Spirit is leaning you towards staying this route, remaining committed, because leaving this situation is going to take you away from your victory, from having that oneness with whatever it is that you've been desiring. And I feel like this is also coming into oneness with yourself, and realizing that, like, you can have anything that you desire. Like, if you have that desire, you have it for a reason, and you are one with it. So staying the course is going to materialize that for you, whereas leaving it is going to break it. And it seems like it's going to be pretty big. If you choose to leave this thing now, this situation now, it kind of gives me like a huge change. Like, it's going to be rapid, like it's going to be a very big change for you. And I don't know if that's going to be a change that you necessarily want. because it's going to require you to go back into hermit mode is what I'm hearing. It's going to require you to go back to the drawing board is what I'm hearing. Although we're going to see what it's going to require from you in the extended, but that's kind of what I'm just hearing right now is like, this is not going to be a simple thing. The outcome of you leaving is going to be pretty big, and it's not exactly going to lead to this victory. Not to say that you can't have that, but it's kind of being like, I'm just seeing what's coming through here is like, it's not the outcome of you leaving is not it's not going to bring you this alignment that you're looking for. I feel like you're gonna have to go through another cycle. The outcome of you leaving is starting another cycle, I feel like. So I don't know how this will apply to your situation. Obviously, take it however it applies, but let's see your message and your advice. So Spirit, what message do you have for pile 2 in regards to this situation? Can we get one card for what message you have for pile 2? There's a general lightness to this pile though, so I feel like you already know what you want, and now it's just a matter of like, can I just see it through? Or, yeah. Okay, Jade. The first thing that kind of came with this is to not let your past experience leave you jaded in whatever's going on in this situation. So don't let the past in this situation, or the past in general, deter you from moving forward in this situation. Let's get one card from this deck to see what message Spirit has for you. Spirit, what message do you have for pile 2 in regards to this situation? We have solitude. I'm feeling like take some time in your alone to reflect. If you're really like conflicted on this, take some time alone to reflect on what your heart is truly desiring. And because I feel like the outcome here is a feeling of being trapped. I'm not like, I don't want to lie, I don't want to sugarcoat these things either. Like, this is kind of what's coming through here, and I have to give it to you as it's coming through. And the leaving of this situation might make you feel a little bit trapped in your own bubble, I'm hearing, but also like just trapped in a situation. I feel like you leaving is actually going to make you feel more trapped. The outcome is a trapped feeling that like you couldn't get what you wanted or something along those lines. I'm just not feeling a whole lot of great energy coming through from this side here. So obviously, again, you have free will, like you can do what you want. Spirit just wants you to know that the outcome here is that you leaving is actually going to make you feel more trapped. So even if it feels difficult, sticking this through is actually going to be better for you in the long run. But take some time to really like hone in on your desires, on your energy, like hone in on you and what you want. Spend some time alone and maybe spend some time in your own company and see like what would be best here. And again, with this Jade, like don't allow the experiences of the past to jade your sight for the future, or what you want, or the vision of that you desire, whatever you desire, because the past is in the past, and that's not necessarily going to be recreated here. This energy is giving me like hope, like second chances, a new opportunity. Like I feel like if you've tried this thing once before and it didn't work out, I feel like there's a second opportunity coming in here, and that second opportunity is going to be much more rewarding. So if you stick it through, there's like a new opportunity coming in for you. And I also feel like, again, that hope, like there's this hope here. If you stick it through, like there is a hope here that you're gonna get that opportunity. Don't give up. That's what I'm hearing. Don't give up, because like if you just stay, like if you don't give up, there is victory at hand here. And even if you don't see it yet, like it's definitely here. Yeah, I feel like your message here is that there's a time right now to be alone in your own bubble, to really figure out what it is that you want to do, but also to kind of like give you the motivation you need to make your decision, and like to hear very clearly what your heart is desiring. I'm also noticing that this person is turned towards this way. So I feel like that's another confirmation for that. But I also get that sense that whatever it is that you want, you're still kind of like isolated from it. So like you're still alone, you're still separated from it, but it's not going to be that way for very long. And I feel like Spirit is saying that this isolation is for a purpose. Like you needed to be alone, you needed to be in your own bubble right now, so that you can gain a better understanding of who you are, and have more understanding of who you are, but also solidify yourself and become your own person. So when you get this thing, it doesn't, like, you don't lose yourself in it, you know. Like for example, if it's like a job, you know, you have your own values, you know who you are at your core, so you're not going to allow this job to change who you are in a way, or you're not going to allow this job to lose sight of you. Like you're still going to be able to remain strong in who you are and enjoy this experience, whatever it is that you've been, you know, working towards, whatever it is that you're asking about, whatever this situation is. Let's see Jade. I kind of want to read from that. All right, we have Jade here. Treasures within a consciousness of abundance, recognizing that you are more than enough. Even the smallest crystal has the power to transmit energy, channeling information from the conscious universe. Electronic equipment contains crystals so small that you might not realize they are there. So too do you have hidden strengths you may be overlooking. Treasures within that can give you strength and courage as you break free of the past and venture into the unknown. These treasures can serve as talismans to remind you that you have enough and are enough. For you are stardust, the stuff of galaxies, a light being with every quality present in the universe. Goodness, bravery, love, you name it, it's there. Jade Spirit has arrived to tell you not to underestimate yourself. You have so many facets and so many assets to share and to grow. Whatever eludes you, open up to the bounty of the conscious universe and look within. Wait, where did that come from? You may ask. It was there all along. Qualities formerly concealed from view will be made visible to you now, so that you may use them for healing, growth, and co-creating whatever your heart desires. And I feel like that's like exactly why like that might be what you're working on, like is manifesting what you want or creating your heart's desires. And it may have required you to open up in some way, and it may have been challenging. I mean, shit, like this stuff is not exactly always easy. Manifesting what you desire doesn't always necessarily happen in a very linear fashion, but I feel like you're already almost at the end of that, of materializing it into the physical. So yeah, keep going. And like believe in yourself, because I feel like this whole journey and your message and advice here is to believe that you have what it takes to create what you desire. You don't have to stay stuck in old cycles or old patterns. Because if you leave this, I'm feeling like it's almost you going back to your old cycle and your old way of doing things. Like if you leave this situation, you know, it's you going back to your old cycles and old ways of doing things. It seems like you're taking a step backwards, and you're almost telling the universe that you don't have faith that you can manifest what you want. And so it's going to, again, start a new cycle for you where you're going to have to rebuild or just build your faith in general. Not that that's a bad thing. Sometimes we do have to go through that, you know, because maybe that's just what we need to go through at that moment. And this isn't to judge you or anything like that. I'm not casting any of those types of things. It's just to give you an understanding of like the outcome here seems to be like a going back into this similar cycle, another pattern, another thing, because maybe it's like you need to develop greater belief in yourself. But if you stay here, if you stay with this thing, you'll get it, and that belief is going to come naturally. And I feel like your message here from Spirit is to just start believing in yourself. Of course, that is easier said than done, but starting to believe and have faith in yourself, that you have the strength and the power to create what you want in this world, and so you can keep taking the action towards whatever it is that you desire, because it's going to happen one way or the other. I feel like that's what Spirit wants to call your attention towards. For thousands of years, jade has been prized in countries around the world. It teaches us to embrace and enjoy life on all levels. Green jade is traditionally a stone of abundance. Meditate with this crystal for focusing on the sense of gratitude for all your abundance, and it will multiply tenfold. I find that interesting that we have 10 here and the 10 here. So I feel like this situation is bringing you towards abundance. It may not have been a very easy path, but I feel like you're kind of already towards the end of it. So yeah, that's just what I'm feeling. You know, again, like, you know your situation best. So don't let me be the person to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But you do. Like, internally, you know what direction is calling you most. And just, I feel like, don't allow doubt to eat away at what your intuition and what your heart already knows to be true. So pile 2, actually, I want to end this reading with a card, a message for you. Let's get one card. Spirit, what last card do you want? Or what last message do you want to give pile 2 on this reading? I also want to mention that if you're asking about a relationship, and that relationship currently, like right now, is very toxic and unhealthy, then obviously staying in it is not going to be good. I don't feel like if you're asking about a relationship like that, where you're in a really toxic relationship and it's hurting you or something like that, I don't think this is your pile. I don't feel like the energy of this pile is much lighter. So I feel like maybe if you're asking about something like that, then pile 1 might have been your pile. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Though I feel like if you got this far, I don't know if that's your situation. Let's see. Or it doesn't have to be a relationship, but any situation which is toxic and hurting you, I'm definitely not getting those feelings from this pile. So I don't feel like this is your pile. So Spirit, can we get one card to end this reading for pile 2? Thank you. Yeah. Spirit, I love you. Jasmine, success will be found if you hold on to hope. Like, is there any other message that could have come up? Probably. Be ready. The best is on its way. Buttercup, like, hell yeah. Pile 2, like, good things are coming towards you. Good things are on their way. Just be ready to receive it. You've already walked through the fucking fire. Like, excuse my language, but you've already walked through the fire. good things are on their way. So be ready and open to receive it when it comes. If you're not joining me in the extended, this is where I'm leaving your reading pile 2. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. And thank you so much, Spirit, for coming through in this reading and helping me channel this message. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified when I upload. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3. You've chosen the rose quartz crystal. I'm going to keep your crystal right here. Let's get into your reading. And one of the messages that came through, and I don't know if this is entirely related, but you'll know, it's that you just needed to see that it was possible in order for you to believe that you can have it too. So that was a message that came through for you guys. So let's see, what is the outcome of you staying in whatever situation it is that you're asking about? Pile 3, what is the outcome of them staying in the situation that they're asking about? Spirit, what is the outcome of pile 3 staying in the situation that they're asking about? We have Page of Swords. I feel like getting one more. Let's see, what is the outcome of pile 3 staying in this situation, Spirit? Thank you. Oh, got 2. And these 2 came out together, so I'm going to keep them together. We have the King of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. Let's also see from this deck. What is the outcome of pile 3 staying in this situation? Spirit, what is? Thank you. Alright. Now let's see, what is the outcome of pile 3 leaving this situation? What is the outcome of pile 3 leaving this situation, Spirit? We have the 9 of Cups and the Knight of Wands. And also the Fool at the bottom. What is the outcome? Oh, that's too many. What is the outcome of pile 3 leaving this situation? What is the outcome of pile 3 leaving this situation? Oh, goodness. Okay, we're going to take the ones that flipped upright. We have divination and positivity. So pile 3, right off the bat, I want to say that either way, whether you choose to stay in this situation or leave, there seems to be something good happening in both cases. Like in both cases, there seems to be like a win-win outcome. So like whether you choose to stay or leave this situation, it seems beneficial to you either way. And ultimately, it's really just boiling down to like, what do you want, you know? And so we'll start with if you choose to stay, what the outcome is growth. I feel like the outcome here, if you choose to stay, is intense growth and clarity on what you want. You're going to really start to gain clarity on what you want in life, what you desire, what you want. It's going to strengthen your resolve is also what I'm hearing. It's going to strengthen you as a person. I also feel like with the King of Pentacles, because it came with the 7 of Cups here, it's like the outcome is whatever you choose to put your energy to is going to thrive. So ultimately, staying this course, and because it seems almost like in this situation there's multiple options in front of you. So whatever this staying this course is there's still multiple options in front of you, or maybe different ways in which you can go about it. And I feel like you're gaining clarity about that. So like an example of this could be somebody who's going to school, right? Like we do have a page here, so maybe this does apply for some of you, like schooling. But anyways, going to university, and it's like, should I go to university or should I not? Should I start working? What should I do? And if you choose to stay and go to university, it's like you have multiple degree options that you could go for, right? And that might be where the clarity is going to come in. And like, if you choose to continue down this path, you're going to start to see, obviously that's just an example to kind of like illustrate what I'm trying to say here. But like, as you continue down this path, you're going to start to gain more and more clarity. This 19 also gives me like the sun card, sun vibes, in tarot. So like, there's definitely illumination happening. You're going to start to understand and gain more clarity on which direction to move and what you want and desire out of life. It's also going to build a lot of strength within you. And whatever it is, whatever choice you make, I feel like you're going to feel very abundant. You're going to feel very sure of yourself. You're going to feel very confident in yourself in that decision. And so the outcome here is like, regardless, you're going to build strength and you're going to build confidence in yourself. Moving to like, if you choose to leave, the outcome of you leaving is some type of wish fulfillment. Or this could also be casting a wish. So like, you leaving could somehow be you putting your energy towards another wish and like moving towards another desire. I feel like, again, we have divination here with positivity. So this kind of gives me manifestation vibes, and also with the 9 of Cups here. The 9 of Cups. And the Knight of Wands, this is giving me that feeling of, even if you leave this situation, you're still going to walk towards your wish fulfillment. You're still going to manifest what you want, and it's going to be positive. Like, either way, there's a win-win outcome here. Like, it doesn't look like either situation is like a bad thing per se, like, or not bad, but like, it doesn't even feel like either situation is heavy. Because in pile 1, I've got the strong sense that leaving felt lighter and staying felt heavier. For pile 2, it was the opposite. Staying felt lighter and leaving felt heavier. And for yours, I feel a lightness in both. I feel like anything you choose, you're going to have a win-win outcome. One side maybe take a little bit longer, in the sense that like, this is just going to require more stability and more growth on your part. We're going to see what it's going to require for you in the extended, but I definitely feel like this side might be a little more slow moving, whereas this side might be a little more fast moving. But that's not to say that you're not going to get what you want. So this side might just be a little easier path, whereas this side might come with a few more challenges. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just up to you to decide what way you want to go. Yeah. There's really not much more that I could say about this, but I feel like the outcome here is you recognizing what you want and walking towards it. In this case, it's kind of the same thing. And with the 9 of Cups here, I definitely feel like this is more direct wish fulfillment. This feels a little more like curving to get to your wish. This feels like a more direct path to your wish, to your desire. Whatever that desire and wish is, this feels much more direct, much more fast moving, because we do have a Knight here, and the Knight of Wands is one of the fastest knights. You know, in the original Rider-Waite, the Knight of Wands is moving incredibly fast on their horse, and sometimes it can feel like impulsive energy. So just be on the lookout for that you're not making any decisions out of impulse. But overall, this doesn't really feel like that. It feels more of like a straight shot to your wish, Whereas this feels like you're getting your wish, but there's a few more curves and bends in the path. So it's really about which path you want to choose, and there isn't really like a clear defined yes, you should go this way, or you know, like there's really not much like clearly defined here. I'm sorry if that's confusing, because like but that's what Spirit's giving me, is like it seems like either way, if you choose to leave, there's definitely a clear, like there's a more clear path towards your wish available to you if that's what you want. But if you choose to stay, you're still going to get your wish. It's just, again, like there's a few curves in the road to get there. And it's going to build strength in the meanwhile. In this case, I feel like with divination, it's like the clarity, if you like, the outcome here is clarity, but in a much more direct way. You know, this clarity seems a little more like hard won, if that makes sense. So let's get your messages and advice from Spirit. This reading is super short because it's basically like there's really not much for me to say here. So what Spirit, what message or advice do you have for pile 3 in regards to this situation? What message or thank you? Wow. Okay. And then let's get one from this deck of a mess. Oop, thank you. I feel like new beginnings are on the horizon for you anyways, because we also do have the Fool here. So for many of you, I feel like you might be choosing this path. This could also be for some of you being like starting a new thing and not sure how to approach it. That's also coming through here. But we have this selenite card specifically always reminds me of the Tower. So I'm getting the sense that maybe for some of you, the message here is to allow the old things that, like the old perceptions and old beliefs that you've been holding on to kind of like die away, because maybe that's already happening. And get ready to embark on something new. Get ready to see things in a new way. Like you don't necessarily have to pick the harder route to get to your outcome. Like the harder route isn't always the best choice. So like I get that feeling that that message wanted to come through for you guys. And yeah, like this is like this reading is very split. Like diligence to me speaks of like sticking on to what you're doing, because whatever it is that you're doing, being diligent with it and continuing to work on it is going to bear the fruits that you want. So maybe for some of you, continuing this path is going to give you the clarity you need to see the more clear and direct shot towards your wish fulfillment. And once you get that clarity through sticking with whatever it is you're doing, you can leave and, you know, take that shot. So like, regardless, there seems to be a new beginning on the horizon for you guys. Something new and fresh is entering your life anyways. And it almost feels like even if you keep going, you're still going to feel this newness. If this isn't making sense for you, you might need to pick another pile, because this message is very like you're going to know for your situation if this applies. All right, so we have Angel Aura Quartz, connecting to infinite potential, a renewed sense of purpose, wonder, and awe. The appearance of this crystal is a message to you to cease your cynicism and worry and open your heart to the wonder that is your life. How unlikely we all are, and yet we are here. Drink in the magic of life in your body on this planet and let yourself be filled with wonderment. Open yourself to healing in its many forms, as the universal consciousness eternally creates new beginnings and generates abundance. Today is a day to appreciate the magic that is everywhere. I get the sense that maybe you guys just need to just like live a little, you know, like just be open to experiencing new experiences in your life, however they go, and kind of like take it from there. Like don't overthink, you know, like don't over worry yourself with the path or the outcome or anything like that, because it seems like things are moving regardless, and it's just about you enjoying that experience. Liquid light, fluidity, flexibility, illumination, and clarity, raising your vibration. When selenite spirit appears, its message to you is to keep moving past your challenges, your sights always on raising your vibration, to be like liquid light, illuminating, fluid, and flexible. For even the earth and her rocks, stones and crystals change and reveal more of themselves over time. Selenite spirit's message is that whatever the pace of change, you must yield your expectations about how things should be so that you can discover the beauty in how things are evolving. Like liquid light flowing around an obstacle, you have the capacity to move more freely than you might realize. Know that a new perspective can help you see that. You don't ever have to be stopped in your tracks. Be flexible in your thinking, for there is more wisdom in the universal consciousness than in your own individual mind, and it is always available to you. The way out of the old patterns is to enter the unknown without maps or well-defined familiar paths. Surrender your fear and know that the conscious universe is here to provide you with clarity and guide you through unexpected twists and turns. And I definitely feel like that's your, like that perfectly sums up everything that we've been talking about here, because you almost don't need such a clearly defined path right now, because it's already coming. It's like it's on its way to you. The clarity of that defined path is on its way, and just keep experiencing life is what I hear. Yeah, just keep moving through and experiencing life and enjoying your life experience. So let's get one more card to end this reading off. Thank you. Ooh. I guess Peony still wanted to come out too. Prosperity can be assured if you care well for tomorrow. And Gardenia, listen to the divine whisper stirring in your heart. So what is your heart calling you towards? And maybe it's time to reconnect to that. And you might gain more clarity through that understanding. And maybe for some of you, you're having a difficult time hearing what your heart has to say. And I think you should honor that, because maybe there's wisdom in honoring that as well. Like, you never know if you just honor that and just like, okay, what's the next step? And what's the next step? And that, like, slowly but surely that path will open up for you. Pile 3, if you're not joining me in the extended, this is where I'm going to leave your reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, and thank you, Spirit, for coming through with this reading. I hope this helps you in your decision, but I know it's kind of like, it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, if this reading resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified when I upload. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye.